So we've been talking about the egoic mind and how it affects the individual, but of course it affects humanity at large. There is a wider implication because it's not just self-help we're talking about here. It's not just, oh, you and me, we've got our little problems. If the whole world, if each human being has the same problem, that is to say a strong ego, then that's one big problem. You know, that's the whole world in trouble. And I gotta say that, and this might upset people, but the truth is, religion is really responsible, not solely but mostly responsible for this infection of egoic mind amongst our species of human beings. Because really each religion that I know of is great. In its essence is perfect. They're all teaching the same thing and they're all beautiful in their essence, because they've all come from the enlightenment of an individual, of Muhammad or Jesus or Buddha or anybody. It generally starts with the enlightenment of one individual who then has followers, and the problem comes when that individual's body dies and the followers who are not enlightened and stuck in their ego cling to this form of the dead enlightened one, who isn't really dead but their body has died, and so they're clinging to the form of that person, and then they seek to, their own ego becomes even more strong, and they start to create a system for that religion, a dogma, a dharma even, of a way that you must practice, and the things that must be done in the name of this religion, and it becomes totally egofied. And when you consider that one religion could have, you know, maybe a quarter of the population of the earth following it, and that religion's teachings are based in ego, that's deep shit. That's a big problem. And if you look at religions, they are a reflection of this same kind of insight that I had, that I was talking about in part one, about the individual, us beings. Same thing, same image superimposes onto religions. I mean, if we look at all different religions, let's say this is one religion and this is another, and I'm not going to get all specific about what they are, but let's just say they're different religions, and they all like to think that they're so damn different. But you know, you can see, well, this image shows that they're all kind of the same in their essence. But what happens is, when the followers, the human beings, humanify, humanitize the religion, the teachings, that is to say the truth, and they suddenly build a way that you must get there, then there becomes problems. I mean, like, let's say this thing here, this one, or well, we only practice in a mosque. It must be done in a mosque, and it must be done 5 times a day, and we're in a church, and on Sundays is the holy day. Our one is Friday, well, ours is Sunday. Well, our one is Saturday, and we don't have religions. We have we don't have a mosque. We have a synagogue, and we have a temple, and we have temples, and we have a kingdom hall, and we have a thingy, and it's all external stuff. We wear crosses around our necks, right, and we have the Bible, we have the Quran, and we pray in this specific way. Oh, well, that's the way you do it? Well, we do it like that. You pray, we don't pray, we meditate, and we do this, and we do that, and we sing, and we chant, and we dance, you know, we spin around in circles to get close to our God. And this one comes from this part of the world, and that part, well, the 3 major ones come from the same part of the world in the same time in history, yet they honestly believe they're so different. It's amazing, isn't it? And you know, it's just external stuff. It's like we have to wear this thing around our wrist, and we have beads as well. You know, we have a mala, and we do this, and we're not allowed to eat meat. We can't drink alcohol, or we can't eat pork. Well, we can't eat pork either. No, well, that's a coincidence. We don't drink, or we can drink, but we can't eat beef. And we have all these deities. You know how many deities we have? We have trillions, millions. We have loads and loads and billions of all different gods and deities and goddesses and all kinds of shit. And you know, we just have one. Well, we believe in one true God. Okay. So it goes on and on. You know, it's just there is no limit to the human imagination. And then based on that fact, this stuff could go on forever. You know, and new ones pop up all the time. And it's not the blue thing, the truth that changes. You know, even if I invent a new religion tomorrow and have a whole heap of followers on YouTube, I start an internet religion, the truth in its essence cannot really be, well, is unlikely to be different. But I can add all kinds of stuff. I can say, well, we all have to worship our computers, you know, I'm going to start the religion of science and stuff. You know, it's just, it doesn't end. And of course, if we remember that if this is all ego and it's becoming stronger and stronger in people, and the ego gets no sense of satisfaction greater than having an enemy, is it any wonder that these guys hate these guys because they took their land, and this guy thinks that these guys shouldn't do it because they want their oil, and you know, and they just create enemies, and everyone hates each other. We think you're stupid because you worship cows. We have one true God. Well, we don't have any God. We don't believe. We're an atheist. And you know, the same thing applies even to like what we're talking about here. That is to say, people like me, and probably you, if you're watching this, that is to say, a spiritual person, no specific religion. Although, you know, I'd probably say I was a Buddhist to most people, but generally it's just a label. So even if you don't have a label, when you say, oh, I'm just a spiritual being, there's a hell of a lot of ego in that too. Not for everybody, but for a lot of people. I mean, you can be like a spiritual person, and you say, well, I don't agree with any of this stuff. I don't label my spirituality. I try to be pure. And yet, because I'm so pure and I'm nothing like these guys, well, what I do instead is I don't eat meat, I don't eat dairy, I'm a vegan, and I wear this bracelet around my wrist which doesn't belong to any, it's totally secular, and I have dreadlocks because I think that's the way spiritual people should be, and I recycle all my stuff because I think, and you can do that too. Spiritual people, non-religious, can be just as full of ego, if not more so sometimes. I do feng shui, I do tai chi, I'm a yoga master, and you know, I have a tattoo of Om on my arm, and you know, blah blah blah. It goes on forever, but not for everybody. I mean, I have someone in my life, I'm very lucky, he's like my guru, Max, and he is somebody who has pretty much no ego, almost none. You know, he is the most down-to-earth spiritual guy in the world. And when you meet him, I mean, at one point he was like a millionaire, but even then, if you'd have met him, you'd never know that he was the owner of a company, and he was doing really well. He wouldn't dress in any particular way. He has no symbolism about him that even says that he's spiritual, let alone wealthy, and yet he's just a human being.